on the Upper West Side today in Manhattan, and you'll probably see there's a little hint of green right behind my shoulder. And this is UTSUWA Botanical Design. And I had never heard of this shop before, but my friend Michael tipped me off to it. So we're gonna check it out today. It's a small shop, but you'll see there's a lot packed into it. It's closed, but they are allowing us to come in before the shop opens because it is so tiny that they didn't want to basically like affect any of the customers that are coming in. So we're gonna sneak in. Hello. How are you? Hi, Hiro. All right, so we just spoke with Hiro, who's one of the owners here, and he doesn't want to be on camera because he feels a little uncomfortable on camera, which is totally fine, but he gave me the lowdown. He's actually had plant shops for well over 26 years. He started in Tokyo, and I'll throw up some of those really beautiful shots. He said a more traditional plant shop in Tokyo, and then moved to San Francisco and had a plant shop there for 15 years, and now has only been here for a year and a half, and what an excellent store this is. Obviously it has a bit of Japanese influence. He said his store in Tokyo had a lot more bonsai and kokdeama and things of that nature, and you'll find that a bit here as well, but just really lovely curated, and you could see that the appreciation of just, well, utsuwa, which means vessel in Japanese, I believe it means. And so all the vessels and the way that everything is displayed, even you'll see this in like some of the cactus and succulent societies, how they have, you know, the stones or the black lava stones or everything really made into like a little diorama. So you could really appreciate these items, not just within a plastic pot, but in a pot that looks really beautiful and gorgeous with the plants. So you could see here like one of the Begonia maculatas right here. And here you'll have the Dieffenbachia reflector. So a lot of plants that you would see normally in a plant market, but just displayed in a different kind of way. Also, I just really love how this is displayed, where you have this giant piece almost that looks like driftwood. And we just went to some botanic gardens where they have some of the dead trees that look really stately and statuesque. They've left them up, roots and all. And here you have like a tillandsia display in the shell, but you can see just how beautiful this is, and also very utilitarian in the store. Yeah, so they're on the Upper West Side. And like I said, my friend Michael turned me on to this store, which is pretty neat because you just can't keep track of like what all the stores that open up. So you'll see some of the ficus here, and we've done some really excellent tours that will be coming up showcasing the art of bonsai, which is something that I think I would love to get into at some point, maybe after we do a lot of the renovations and things like that. I kind of feel like it's a contemplative and thoughtful process that I might not have the time for at this stage. Here's some of those moss balls. So this is what the art of kokdeama is. And you could see that they have a little tray, and they have the Hoya right here. This is the Hoya carnosa, or also known as the Hindu rope plant. And they have it tucked away in a little moss ball in a shallow tray, and that's where you could water it. Oftentimes they'll hang the moss balls as well, but this is a really good way to water it. It sucks up the water, and then that's how the plant gets the water and therefore the nutrients. This is a beautiful alocasia. I've always loved this one. Reginula, with the deep velvety green leaves, especially the new ones as they're emerging. The syngoniums and crypthantha, so they're just kind of tucked away into their little moss pockets. on some corkwood, even ripsalis. This is great. This is one of my kind of sleeper plants that I really like that just go between some of the big leaves, but having that as a true epiphyte, you know, normally a lot of mine are just planted in pots, which they do extremely well, but why not? And then here you have some of the Japortias, the Calathea. I remember when I first saw this plant in the Botanic Gardens, I was like, that is so unreal. lava stone, charcoal, sand. And this is really nice to see because oftentimes, you know, around here, you'd see this a lot more in Asia. So we saw this more when we were through like Singapore and Thailand. You have this black sand. We don't always find that here, so this is really neat because it's something that's a little bit more unusual. You see more of like the white and the beige and the brown sand around here. So the fact that you could get a little element of this is also pretty for the display of plants. Little fossils, you could see the attention to detail, the little aspects that, you know, one can enjoy by just making one small little plant in a pot. I also like how they have the displays here that you could pull out, and you could see the different types of tillandsia. if you're going to be doing something similar to this. So you can see this, just pull it out, and it gives you an ability really to be able to create. Oh, look at these designs. Beautiful. I love the painting. Here's some more pots and plants. This is gorgeous. This is an Anthurium hookeri. Nice plant. And some preserved moss. So, you know, we have one of these on our walls. I had purchased one of preserved moss for one of the small rooms that I had designed years back. And it's such a great, like, low maintenance option because you really just have to wash the dust off of it because it's not living, but because it has this dye and it keeps the dye, it's a really nice way to keep green in your house, even if you don't have any kind of light in your house. So that's a really nice option for folks who may like to have a little bit of greenery, even if it's in like their office or cubicle. And here's some of the Stephanias, which are the caudiciforms or the bulbous kind of tuberous plants. So these are plants that oftentimes I find that maybe not the beginner houseplant would like, and I've had plants like this where I've totally forgotten about them because oftentimes they'll lose their green tops and then they'll just sit there, and they're basically like dormant. And then during the growing season, they'll start to put out their leaves and start growing again. So you have to be kind of aware of the plant's life cycle and when it puts out green and when it's starting to put out like little shoots and when it kind of dies back. So if you're in the Upper West Side or you happen to be coming to Manhattan, I think this is a must stop because it is unique. It has its own personality, has its own vibe that you often don't get to see. I mean, I'm in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and there's a lot of great plant shops here, but this is a totally different feel. And yeah, and even though it's not easy for me to get to from Williamsburg, I would definitely come here again. So hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much, Michael, for tipping me off to this place.
Hope you enjoyed the tour through UTSUWA Botanical Design. Now, if you enjoy these videos, hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons to help more people find our channel and grow their love for plants. And we've recently announced our latest group botanical tour to Japan for the fall of 2026. Now, for more information, check out the description below this video, or you could head over to homesteadbrooklyn.com. Just click the Learn tab and then Botanical Tours to find out more and reserve your spot. While you're there, also check out our suite of online houseplant courses from Houseplant Basics to the Houseplant Masterclass. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.